Hey y'all, this is Lynn Blackburn, and I just wanted to pop in here this morning and show you the typeset pages for One Final Breath. I did a little picture on Instagram and I posted it to my author page, but I realized that you can't quite see just how big this thing is when I do it that way. So let's see if I can get the whole thing in my hand. All right, how's that? Oh my word, look at it. It's huge. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many actual pages it is, but I mean, that's a lot of pages right there. Look at that. It's huge. So this is One Final Breath right here. And this week I get to read all of these pages and try to make them as perfect as possible. I hate typos, but as you can imagine, with this many pages, they happen despite my best efforts and despite my editor's efforts, but I try very, very hard to make sure they don't. So this is what I will be working on this week, and I have a question for you that I would love for you to answer in the comments to this post. I am wondering how you feel about the first chapter of a book being released in advance. If you noticed in Beneath the Surface, the first book in the Dive Team Investigation series, the first chapter for Into Deep was at the back of the book. I will tell you, as an author, that scares me to death because I wasn't quite ready for that first chapter to be out there. It hadn't been completely edited, and what I was worried, what if I changed it? What if something changed? But it worked out fine. We made a few little tweaks to it. Nothing super major happened to that first chapter in the process, because that first chapter went into the book before I had finished writing Into Deep, which was terrifying. But anyway, so as you may have noticed, though, at the back of Into Deep, there is no first chapter for One Final Breath. And I thought you might be interested as to why. Into Deep is long. I am supposed to write books that are 85 to 90,000 words, and I do write them that length. But by the time we're finished editing, they usually wind up being a little bit longer, and sometimes they wind up being long enough that there's just not room. If you flip open a copy of Into Deep and look at the back, you'll notice that there are only maybe 2 pages, 3 pages at the back. There's not much room. There's a little blurb about the crossover with Lynette Eason's books, and then that's it. And that's because that's all the room there is. And interestingly enough, with the way books are made, in order to add more pages, they would have had to add a lot more pages, and that would have increased the price of the book. And the decision was made not to do that and not to include the first chapter of One Final Breath in the back of Into Deep. So it makes me wonder, now that, there is a first chapter and it's mostly edited and ready to go, it makes me curious if you want to see it before the book releases. I am sure Revell will give me permission at some point to release it. I'm not sure when, but I'm mostly curious to know, do you read the first chapter? Do you like to read the first chapter, or do you wait until the last moment and read the book all at the same time and don't read that teaser chapter? That's just one of those random things that I'm curious about today. So I will be busy working on this week. My oldest is home this week on spring break. She just spent a few days in Florida with her class, and if you were noticing my pictures on Facebook on my author page, my family just got back from Kentucky, where we visited Mammoth Cave National Park and absolutely loved it. We had a blast. So today I'm doing the laundry of 5 people who have had their clothes crammed in a suitcase for 5 days. You can imagine how glorious it smells. And I'm going to be working on this. So I covet your prayers, because it is a lot. I always try to make sure that I send something out into the world that will honor and glorify God's name, and that will entertain, and that will meet the reader's expectations and what they're hoping, especially because of so many of you who are Team Gabe all the way. And I love Gabe, and I want y'all to love him too, and I hope you will. So I'm going to be working on this week, and I would love it if you would let me know how you feel about first chapters. And also, I am planning to write a chapter that I will give away, probably to newsletter subscribers. It will be a chapter from Gabe and Anissa's past that explains a lot about their current animosity toward one another and some of the tension. And I'm really excited about diving into that. So I'm also curious to know if you had a teaser chapter that didn't really go in the book, it's before the book started, but that informs the relationship. Would you want to read it before you read the book or after? I kind of think I tend to think I would want to read it after and then get that little extra detail, but I'm always curious to know what readers think about that. So those are my two questions. Do you read the teaser chapter when it's the first chapter of the book, and would you read a behind the scenes, kind of a prequel chapter? Would you read it before you read the book or after you read the book? And then, of course, please pray as I dive back into this book this week. And let me know. I'll let y'all know how this is going. Hopefully there won't be a lot of red marks, and we will get to send it back, and then this is the last time that I will have anything to do with it before it goes to print. So definitely pray for me this week as I work on it. And thank y'all so much. Y'all have been fabulous about the whole Dive Team Investigation series, and so much fun as you give me some feedback about the characters and which ones you love. And I'm particularly excited for all of you Team Gabe fans to get One Final Breath into your hands. So I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.